Hello, good evening. I welcome all of you on this occasion of launch of my new novel, Stars in Your Eyes. I'll read some parts of the book. Ranbir got up with a start as the alarm clock rang. He lifted the curtain and peeped outside. It had been raining heavily and the road was shining under the yellow street light. He thought about the escape. He had already packed his suitcases and loaded them in the dicky of the car the previous night. He had planned to leave Mumbai for the time being and was considering driving to his hometown, Bhatinda in Punjab, in his ambassador. He took a bath and changed into blue jeans, a casual shirt and sneakers. His stay in Mumbai had been tumultuous. He picked up his handbag, wallet and the car keys and switched off the electric mains. He had switched off his mobile the previous night itself. He locked the exit door and walked to his car. He could hear the landline phone ringing when he was on his way out. He knew that the call was from Karkhanis. He had not allowed him any peace after the due date of loan repayment. He feared that his henchman would be outside his door if he stayed any longer. He settled into the driving seat and drove out of the main gate. The torrential rain had flooded the road. The bylane had the water logging problem, so he maneuvered carefully and approached the main road, which was clean and smooth. Mumbai looked heavenly in the early hours of the day, particularly during the monsoon. His car passed Versova Road and he could hear the waves lashing on the seashore. In half an hour, he had cleared the Hisar checkpost and his car was speeding on the Western Express Highway. The sky had cleared and the raindrops were now falling gently. He had come to Mumbai with his dream of producing a film 1 year back. His film Aaj Ki Sham had been released and had flopped. Only a handful of cinegoers came to watch it. The cinema owners decided to stop showing the film after running it for just 2 days. Ranbir had himself witnessed near empty cinema houses on Friday and Saturday, and he knew that his dream had come to an end. On the same Friday, KJ's film Shehnai had also released. In contrast to his film Aaj Ki Sham, the public was going in hordes to see KJ's film in 8 cinema houses. There were billboards at various strategic locations and the film was being advertised on TV, radio and cinema houses. There was a buzz all over and young and old were talking about its star cast, music and dialogues. The rush had continued on Saturday also. Ranbir was more scared than dejected. He had borrowed 2 crores from Karkhanis. He had received all the money in cash. He was supposed to return the money with 10% interest within 3 months. The loan tenure had ended 2 days back. He was supposed to pay back the loan from the collections from the distributors. As per the agreement, they were under no obligation to pay him even a dime now because his film had flopped. I'll read from one more part. Ranbir had signed Meera for his magnum opus production Payal Ki Jhankar. She was offered 2 crores and the film budget had shot up to 35 crores. He had been away from the workshop on filmmaking and sightseeing in US for a few weeks, and on his return he got busy with the production of the new film. He didn't realize that his overcommitment to work would have a direct toll on his love affair with Meera. Meera's success had made her nature amorphous. She couldn't hold on to a traditional concept of love. Gossip had linked Meera with Karan, scion of successful industrial empire in textiles, airlines and shipping. Rumors had it that she was getting a lot of attention from him. They were spotted in some of the parties together. Ranbir had just returned home after a day of meeting with distributors. He sat down and poured a shot of Absolute vodka with orange and switched on the TV. An anchor was giving the account of happenings in Bollywood. We have the footage of the new lovebirds, Meera and Karan, at a page 3 party. The video showed Meera and Karan standing side by side, leaning over the wall, holding their drinks and chatting. There were over 15 men and women enjoying the party around them. Meera was wearing black sari and sleeveless low-cut blouse. She was smiling and looking into Karan's eyes. Karan was wearing white trousers, white shoes and an orange shirt with large prints. He had hair up to the shoulders and he wore a gold chain around his neck. They seemed to be having a lively conversation. Ranbir was stung with jealousy for the first time. He had never been bothered about the rumors and had considered rumors to be superfluous baggage of celebrities. But in the video, he could see genuine interest in her eyes. He could also gauge in her an affinity towards a rich scion. I'll read from one more part. Veena reached his apartment at 5 in the evening the next day. He had given leave to his security staff for the day. She got 50 lakhs and large briefcase from him. They discussed their plan and then she drove towards Mud Island. He followed in his car, albeit maintaining a gap. Both were careful so that they were not being tracked by Badshah's white Innova. 2 kilometers before Mud Island, Veena halted and waited for Ranbir's car. It was 7:30 p.m. She saw his car slowing down at a distance. She gave him a signal with her headlights and then proceeded slowly for the rendezvous. Ranbir followed at a distance. She parked her car on the roadside and took out the briefcase. She walked with it towards the beach. Ranbir stopped his car at a spot from where he could see her and remained seated inside. It was 5 minutes to 8 and the air was still. The sky was overcast with dark clouds. At 8 she saw the silhouette of Badshah approaching her. He walked in quick strides, holding on an envelope in his right hand. When he saw a few meters away, she pointed towards the briefcase. He raised his hand to show the envelope. She handed over the money to him and in exchange, he handed over the envelope. She opened it and found 4 photographs and a pen drive in it. He quickly opened the briefcase, looked at the bundles and walked back. They did not exchange any words and she stayed behind. The moment she noticed that he was not looking at her, she took out a Wesson .38 caliber pistol from blouse and shot him. The bullet pierced his back and he fell to his knees. He immediately looked back with a shocked expression. His body contorted in pain. He gathered all his strength and lunged forward to grab her pistol. She didn't give him the opportunity to come near her.